Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more An English Haunting. We're still at the camp, but it did occur to me between filming the last episode and this one that we have seen someone in this area using a tool. And that person is the lighthouse keeper who we've recently, I was going to say put to sleep, makes him sound like we had him put down at the vet's. But no, he is. We have made him go asleep. I don't think it's on the table. There are small piles of stones on the table, which might mean he still has it on him. Oh, he's holding it. I can see it. I'm not very proud of what I've done, although he's just sleeping. I'll borrow the mallet. Now, it strikes me that we may... Well, the mallet doesn't strike me, but the solution occurs to me that we might be able to use this to open that crate at the camp. Go and do that thing. That's it, break the lock. Oh. What are you doing? What does that box contain? Excavation material. He's lying. If that's the case, why keep it under lock and key? So people like you won't steal it from me. Who are you? No, who are you? My name is John Price. Yeah. Please excuse my companion, he can be a bit impulsive. Just a bit. My name is Patrick Moore, and this gentleman is Oscar Koenig. We're looking for Professor Silas Bennett. Oscar Koenig? You're Professor Bennett's assistant. Do you know him? Do you know where he is? This smells fishy, Mr. Moore. What have you done with him, Price? Me? Nothing. We collaborated in the search for the Scarlet Stone. Collaborated? Mr. Moore, don't believe a word this man says. The professor would not collaborate with a looter. I'm not a looter. Please calm down, Mr. Koenig. I met your mentor here in Eriswell. His search for the artifact was fruitless. He wasn't digging in the right place. I have precise data on where the Scarlet Stone might be, and he agreed to share the discovery with me. That's all. How do you know the Scarlet Stone is in Eriswell? Well, no matter how hard you try to conceal it in the article, the references were very obvious. The professor admitted that an expert reading that article could have located the place without problem, as it was in my case. Where is the professor? Your friend believed the artifact was buried in the cromlech on the coast. That's because he hasn't read Marlies and their chronicles. The text does not mention Eriswell, but rather the hidden cromlech of the Black Forest. When I finally read your article, I could pinpoint the exact location. That's why I'm here. Is the professor in that cromlech? He set off yesterday to locate it. I told him to wait, but he wouldn't listen. Come with me. See that mountain? On its slope lies what Marlies called the Black Forest. When the Order of the Eternal Wind was persecuted by the Presbyterian Church, they decided to hide in that place. They erased all traces of themselves, hence the coastal cromlech doesn't show their characteristic runes. According to the chronicles, they erected a new cromlech to hide the artifact and dedicate their lives to its protection. The professor and I decided to locate that cromlech, but the Black Forest is a labyrinthine place, and these days there's a lot of fog there. I told him to wait a few days until it cleared, but he ignored me. Did he go there alone? Yeah, yesterday. He hasn't returned since. I fear something may have happened to him. And you haven't gone to look for him? Well, that's my intention. But as I mentioned, the fog condensation in that place is high. I'd practically be going blind just like Professor Bennett is. I think we should go look for him. What do you think, Oscar? I guess we do. Haven't you been listening? Unless the fog clears, your search will be in vain. Why not wait till tomorrow? The fog is slowly dissipating. Perhaps after tonight the weather will be more suitable to search for the professor. We cannot wait that long. He's been lost there for a day, probably disorientated and showing signs of hypothermia. I don't know what else to say to dissuade you from venturing into the forest. Do as you wish. I'll stay here. I may have to rescue you tomorrow as well. And be very careful. Yesterday afternoon, I heard, I don't know how to explain this. You'll think I'm crazy. What did you hear? It happened a few hours after the professor ventured into the forest. I could say it was a sound produced by the elements. You know, the wind. But no, my workplace is nature. There is no sound in it that resembles what I heard. And until you appeared, there was no human in Eriswell apart from that grumpy lookout. Forget it. Maybe my concern for Professor Bennett played tricks on my mind.
I don't think this man is in his right mind.
Well, maybe it's difficult for him to describe what he heard without us thinking he's crazy as you're doing.
Do you trust this man?
Well, he hasn't given us any reason not to. He has been cooperative, his account is solid, and he seems concerned about our friend, the Professor.
Don't be so naive, Mr. Moore.
Are you sure you don't want to come with us to the Black Forest? It would be reckless of me, and of you. Take care, will you? Yes, well, we will do so.
Right, well, I guess we get going, huh? Well, there's not much to click on this screen, I don't think. No, we haven't been given any indication where to go, so I'm inclined to keep going straight for now until we have a choice to make. We've lost our way, haven't we?
Yeah, so it seems. And the fog is getting thicker.
So we have 4 choices. Well, let's keep going straight. Yeah, I think it's a maze. I don't think there's much to actually discover here, at least not so far. And immediately find something to look at. Alright, what's this?
I think, Oscar? Oscar? Ah, damn it.
Oh, we've lost him.
A spiral. Oscar mentioned that the Order of the Eternal Wind used this symbol. I suppose the cromlech we're looking for is not far off.
Oh, that'd be good. Let's keep going straight. Oh, there's more symbols.
More rocks with spirals. I think I'm getting closer to the cromlech.
Can't examine anything. We'll just keep going. Oh. It's the thing from Lost. Or could be a ship. Sounds like a foghorn.
What was that?
Ooh. Hello.
Oh my god. Professor Bennett, what happened?
Run! Run away from here!
I've come to rescue you, and that's what I'm going to do.
I'm already dead. Price. John Price.
Yes?
He betrayed me. He left me at the mercy of them. Don't let...
Yikes.
Oh no! Someone is coming.
I'd hide behind that big stone, mate. Yeah, that's it. Ooh. Hello. Ha! Well, I wasn't expecting to find this. He's dead, my lord. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we know he couldn't have stolen the key of the stars. We must find his accomplices. The old man from the lighthouse might know something. Make him talk, brother. Aye, my lord. Brothers, we have been all trusting in the task entrusted to us centuries ago. We understand the pagans, but don't worry. The key of the stars will return to our hands, and those who have stolen it will pay with the most painful of deaths. Search every corner of this forest, scour the coast, find what belongs to us and shed the blood of the looters. Go, brothers, show no mercy.
I appreciate the way they make the text look Scottish as well. It's like reading an Irvine Welsh novel.
Damn it.
Okay. Well, not much to do apart from talk to Silas, I suppose.
I must find Oscar and get out of this place. None of this is worth finding that cursed artifact.
Okay, I can't seem to examine anything here. We got two paths. I guess we'll go the way they didn't. Uh-oh. Oh no.
The fog here is less dense. I must be near the forest's exit.
Ooh. I can't actually go that way, so let's go this way, I suppose. Who dat? Is that Oscar?
Oscar?
Yikes!
Oh no!
Flee! Oh, this episode's taken a turn.
Yes, I recognize this path. It's the way out of the forest. Oh no!
Ah! Run, Patrick! Price betrayed him. We should probably go back and confront him about that. Can we get in this box now? Ah, okay. I shall use the hammer again. Guessing this is where the Scarlet Stone is.
You deceitful scoundrel. Scarlet Stone has been here all this time.
Hey, well, we got that at least. Okay.
I have to get out of this cursed place. Not so fast, Mr. Moore. Please leave it where you found it. I think you owe me more than an explanation, Mr. Price. What do you expect me to say? That I'm surprised to see you alive? You sent us to the Black Forest knowing that the Order of the Eternal Wind was there. You wanted to get rid of us. I was about to leave this place when you showed up. This is a competitive business, Mr. Moore. I don't want to leave any loose ends. What did you do to Professor Bennett? His last words were an accusation against you. He said you betrayed him. We unearthed the Scarlet Stone from the cromlech in the forest. At that moment, the Order of the Eternal Wind appeared to hunt us down. I wanted to buy some time, so I snatched the artifact and smashed the old man's legs to delay our pursuers. That way I managed to escape unscathed from that hellish place. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Moore. Let me tell you that no, I feel no remorse. There is an esoteric order that will pay me enough for that artifact to clear my conscience. Excuse me for not telling you their name. You've been so lucky in escaping those descendants of the Druids that perhaps fortune will continue to smile on you now and allow you to escape from me as well. Although I very much doubt that will happen. Oscar was right, you're nothing but a looter. Oh yes, your partner. He's dead. Well, that was the idea. You're insane. I'm just a businessman. This artifact does not belong to you. You obtained it by getting blood on your hands. Yeah, you're right. But the end justifies the means. Give it to me. I'm going to be the same fate as the Professor, aren't I? I've no choice, Mr. Moore. You know too much, and I cannot risk you compromising me. I won't make it easy for you, you know. Oh, come on. Don't take this the wrong way, but you're nothing but a flimsy bookworm. The fencing and boxing you practiced as a student won't save you from me. I've been in a few wars and was a mercenary before getting into this lucrative business. Do me a favour and hand over that artifact. It will be a dignified death, not the humiliating one you seem determined to have. Let's end this, once and for all. Give me the damned artifact. You will have to pry it from my... Ah! Don't resist, Mr. Moore. If you resist, it will be more painful.
Ah. Oh, hammer? Bonk on head?
You want the artifact? Yes, damn it. I have something else for you, you damn maniac.
That's a useful hammer.
Aye, Macquarie, back already, are you? And then? Nothing, sir. We've scoured the entire coast in the places pointed out by Mr. Moore. There's nae a trace of camp, nor did we find a thing in that cave. But let's recap, Mr. Moore. According to your story, you've killed a man named Price, aye?
In self-defense, yes.
All that after escaping from a druid cult thought to be extinct. Well, his cult allegedly murdered an archaeologist and his assistant.
Oh, I know how it sounds, but
And the leader of this cult wore a D-skull. Oh, no, I don't know how he's gone Russian now. And the leader of this cult wore a D-skull upon his shoulders.
You don't believe me, do you?
Would I incriminate myself in a crime for sheer pleasure?
I'm telling you the truth.
You can ask the lighthouse keeper. We talked to him. He is aware of that cult. Them. That's what he called them. The old Brody. Yeah, he's nae a very reliable witness if you ask me. He once called us because he found a mermaid on the coast. Yeah, we got to the lighthouse, there was no sign of it. He said he returned it to the sea. The loneliness and lack of contact with civilization makes him seek attention that way. Any other witness to your story beside a solitary old madman, Mr. Moore?
Well, what about the cromlech in the forest? Have you been there?
Listen carefully, Mr. Moore. As far as I'm concerned, you have two options. The first benefits us both. If you indeed killed this Price, well done. Macquarie and the lads found nae evidence, so there's nae case. Just go back to London and enjoy your perfect crime. Yeah, the second option. But the second option is nae in your favour, because I think you're naught but a fanciful tourist, wasting our time. I just mobilised all my forces for naught. I believe you're mocking the Scottish police, and that, my friend, could land you a nice stint behind bars. So I'll be kind and give you the choice to take a train and head back to England. If I see you here again, I'll lock you up till you rot. How does that sound?
Listen, sir.
I didn't want to hear another word from you. Macquarie, accompany Mr. Moore to the exit.
It won't be necessary. Know that you're making a mistake.
Hey, just get out of here already, damn it. Bloody English. A murdering cult in it as well. And he said it with full conviction. Forget it, Sergeant. That fella likely also believes in ghosts. Haha. Well, yeah, we do. As it happens.
Hello? No one seems to be here. And it's quite dark.
Light switch.
Box of Revelations is nearly complete. I should assemble.
There she is. There they are. Ooh.
It has been a delightful evening.
Your success is to be celebrated, Sir Arthur.
How did you find Bertolini's specialty?
Excellent. Although I believe he may have been a bit heavy-handed with the pepper.
Yes? I shall convey your feedback to Bertolini.
I am full. Where I've been, they served only soup, and I suspect it was made with mop water. Oh, no, that's, oh.
Professor?
Patrick, you've returned.
Gotta think of a voice for Ward now.
Oh, Patrick, it's been a pleasure to see you. Did you find the artifact? What? You've returned, found the artifact? Is that the extent of your greeting? Damn it, I was worried about you. Where on earth have you been? Ah, yes, that. It's a long story. Oh, for God's sake, are you going to share it? No, if you insist. However, I believe Mr. Conan Doyle might do a better job at storytelling than I. He has a knack for it. Did you know he writes stories? Yes, I'm aware. He's the author of Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock who? If I may, Professor? What? I believe Mr. Moore deserves to know your whereabouts during this time.
Ah, yes. He's quite an inquisitive young man.
As you may recall, I took it upon myself to investigate the professor's whereabouts while you were off in Scotland. Allow me to recount the events. It seemed like the Earth had swallowed up our friend. All I knew for certain was that his disappearance was connected to the money my order provided for the machine's construction. So the logical thing to do was to get to the root of the problem by starting from the beginning. I knew who to talk to and where to go. I couldn't get lost. I think I'm lost. Okay, we're playing as Arthur Conan Doyle now, are we? Should we talk to a student? Excuse me, lad. Oh, where's he off to? Oh. Can you tell me where I can find the Dean?
I don't know, sir. I need to talk to him, but he's not in his office.
Oh, thank you very much. What's this plaque say? Biology. Can we go it? Closed. Too late for classes to be open. Drinking fountain. I'm not thirsty. What about this guy? Excuse me, lad. Can you tell me where I can find the Dean?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not going to give that information to a stranger.
Well, I'm not exactly a stranger. I'm Arthur Conan Doyle, the author.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
What's your name?
Well, I don't know, but I guess if you're Arthur Conan Doyle, I must be Oscar Wilde.
Pleasure, Mr. Wilde. Oh dear. Alright, what's this one say? Pharmacology. I need to find the Dean first and talk about the money Professor Ward misappropriated. I sense that is the key to this whole affair. This way? Right, okay, so we're stuck on this screen. I can't go in either door. Let's talk to a different student. Excuse me, lad. Can you tell me where I can find the Dean?
Do you think I'm his secretary?
What a temper. Alright, is he one who we spoke to before? Should be in the common room. Go to the end of this hallway and, oh look, here he comes. Oh, thank you very much, young man.
Pleasure, sir.
It's the Dean. Good evening, sir. Dean Henry Carter, pleasure. Delighted. My name is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I know. I attended one of your lectures last September. Mediums, Contact with the Beyond. It was a very interesting evening. And you're a believer. Of course. I've even written some books on the subject. Fascinating. What brings you to this university, Mr. Conan Doyle? Well, I'm trying to solve a mystery. It's about our mutual friend, Nelson Ward. Well, I know it's common knowledge what the professor has done, but I'm afraid I must keep that information to myself at the express wish of the rector. I'm afraid you should share that information since I'm part of this whole affair. Oh, what do you mean? That money that Professor Ward supposedly misappropriated belongs to me. Well, more precisely, it belongs to my order, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. But it was an anonymous donation. Exactly. My order is characterized, among other things, by discretion. And I would go even further. That money was intended solely and exclusively for Professor Ward's personal use. However, he insisted that the amount be deposited into the university's account. He only wanted a portion of it to be allocated to his metapsychical research department. And as far as I'm concerned, I have every right to know the details of this matter. As for the professor, it was his money. No one can accuse him of stealing anything. Well, if that's the case, I suppose you're right. Well then, may I ask you a few questions? Yes, of course. Did Professor Ward have any enemies? Well, I'm not aware of any. We may have had some disagreements with other members of the university staff, like the rector, but that does not make them his enemies. Shall we rule out the rector then? Yes, please. I shouldn't have mentioned him at all.
The Rector is no adversary in this sorry game.
Has the alleged theft been reported to the authorities?
No.
Yeah, what's the reason for that?
We don't want a scandal over this issue. Unfortunately, word has already spread. But if we'd filed a report, I'd bet anything the newspapers would have picked it up. That would be a disgrace for this university. Professor stealing money from donations. As I said, it would be a scandal.
Did the professor have any debts?
Debts? Like what debts?
Oh, I'm thinking that money could have been used to pay off a debt. His disappearance could be linked to this fact. Suppose he made deals he shouldn't have. Maybe his creditor collected more than just the money owed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Ah, yes, Nelson was a very austere person. He made a good living as a professor at this university. If he had any debt, he could pay it off with his own money.
So, the professor was a very austere person.
Very austere. He hardly valued money. So it surprises me greatly that he committed this crime.
I remind you that the money belonged to the professor.
Yes, you already mentioned that. In any case, I was telling you how little importance he gave to money. For example, he could live in any neighborhood in the city. His financial situation allowed it. But he chose to rent a humble room at number 14 Dorset Street in the West End. He is a person who has never needed luxuries.
Interesting. Do we have any idea where the professor might be?
I wish I did. Nelson is my friend, Sir Arthur. What I want most in the world right now is for him to reappear and clarify this whole matter, especially as rumours are already beginning to spread that are not to my liking.
Oh, what kind of rumours?
Well, it's said that he used the money to run away with the medium Beatrice Shaw and start a new life together.
Beatrice Shaw is his childhood friend. And she's also looking for him, by the way.
Ah, if you say so. But Miss Shaw doesn't have a good reputation. She's a fake medium. She deceives people with her supposed contact with the dead.
Believe me when I tell you that Miss Shaw has nothing to do with Professor Ward's disappearance. I would stake my life on it.
Well, I don't know. She may have an ace up her sleeve.
I believe that's all the questions I have for you, Dean Carter.
It's been a pleasure conversing with you, even if it's about such an unpleasant matter.
The pleasure is mine, sir. Good night.
Right, so I guess probably off to Dorset Street.
The conversation with Dean Henry Carter was quite fruitful. Among other things, you reminded me of a logical place to continue investigating. His residence on Dorset Street. I knew, Mr. Moore, that you had already searched your mentor's room, but as the saying goes, 4 eyes see more than 2. I also found it striking that Professor Ward's alleged theft of the money had not been reported to avoid a scandal. But what caught my attention the most is that you, his closest associates, had not reported his disappearance to the police. Take no offence, but there was a better chance of success relying on them than only a university professor, a medium, and a writer. I have a good relationship with Scotland Yard, so it seemed like a good place to continue my investigation.
We'll start off at Dorset Street, I suppose.
It's an old Mustard Coleman advert.
A shilling for this poor tramp.
Sorry, I don't have any loose change. Only bills.
Oh, well, it ain't that much better.
Alright. Let's go on, I suppose.
Who the hell's calling at this ungodly hour? People live here, damn it. And I'm paid to keep things quiet.
Sorry to disturb you at these hours, ma'am. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, a sir. Ain't that fancy. You want a room, Sir Arthur? This ain't no Savoy, but it'll keep you from freezing your arse off on this lousy night.
Well, I appreciate it, but I'm not looking for accommodation. I just want to ask you a few questions.
Ah, questions.
Could you spare a couple of minutes?
Would have preferred you took a damn room, but fine. Shoot.
I'm trying to locate one of your tenants, Professor Nelson Ward.
Still ain't turned up?
Well, I'm afraid so. Could I search his room?
Been done already, this morning, by some fancy lad.
Yes, Mr. Professor Moore, Patrick Moore. I work with him.
Really? Then tell him he owes me for a lamp.
Yes, I will. As for my question,
What question?
can I search Professor Ward's room? Perhaps I can find something my colleague overlooked.
Now? Impossible. All the tenants are asleep. If they ain't already been woken up by your damn knocking.
I will not disturb them. I'll be as quiet as if I were in the London Library.
No, come back tomorrow.
It's a matter of great importance, ma'am.
Important as my tenants sleep. I've told you as much. Come back tomorrow.
How long since you last saw him?
Last night, heard him go downstairs. I was in bed, but his footsteps are unmistakable. He went out to the street and I ain't seen him since.
Did Professor Ward receive any visitors?
Not in all his years here.
Did you see him interact with anyone lately?
In what way? With a woman?
Or with a man?
With a man? Ain't that indecent?
What? No, don't misunderstand me. I meant if you saw him with suspicious company.
Well, until this morning when his pal came and figured he was a loner.
So you were the last person to see him?
Ain't seen him, heard him. But if anyone saw him that night, it was Rupert.
Who?
The beggar to your left. Always there. Day and night. I know he does it to put pressure on me. Pressures me to let him sleep here, you know. But this is a business. Hear me, Rupert? A business. I hear voices. So Rupert might be the last person to see Professor Ward. Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Unless he passed out or was drunk that night. Or both. Listening, you old hag. Any more questions, Sir Arthur?
No, I think that is all. Thank you very much for answering my questions. Your responses have been very helpful.
Pleasure. Sure you ain't got more questions?
Not at the moment.
Good. Save me from more damn knocking. Good night.
Good night, ma'am. Guess we'll talk to Rupert. Good night, sir.
Coming to give me that shilling?
Well, like I said, I'm unfortunately only carrying bills.
Oh, I see. Tossing a coin to a beggar eases the conscience. Tossing a bill, not so much.
I did not mean to offend you.
Ah, forget it. What do you want?
It's about a tenant in this building. Professor Nelson Ward.
Oh, yeah, the ghost guy. Good man. Always gives me a shilling whenever he walks out that door. Not like you.
Oh. The landlady mentioned you were the last person to see Professor Ward. Is that right?
Saw him leave through that door last night and ain't seen him come back all day.
Did you talk to him? Did he say where he was headed?
Didn't exchange no words with him. Was half asleep in that alley when I saw him leave. Some bloke was waiting for him.
Interesting. Can you describe this bloke for me?
Didn't get a good look at his face. It was dark and I was more asleep than awake. I noticed he was missing an arm. That much I'm sure of.
Left or right arm?
Oh, let me think. Saw him from the front, so it must have been the left one. Yeah, the left arm.
Are you sure about that?
Most certainly, sir. Also, I remember he came up to me and said something like, what was it? Oh, yes. You ain't seen nothing, understood?
So he threatened you?
Oh, not exactly.
What do you mean?
His tone wasn't aggressive at all.
So he suggested that you don't say anything about what you saw that night?
Yeah, it could be.
Not all threats are overtly hostile. As far as I'm concerned, that sounds like a threat through and through.
You reckon?
I am a writer. If a villain threatened my protagonist, they'd likely use those words. Let's continue. Did he seem uneasy or scared?
Who?
The professor.
No, seemed pleased as punch with the bloke was with him. Actually, I'd say he was expecting him.
Do you think they knew each other?
Oh, don't know, sir.
Right. Do you remember anything else from last night?
No, nothing else. Just what I told you. A one-armed man was waiting for the professor.
He advised you not to talk about what you saw, correct?
Exactly.
Yes, well, you've been a great help.
Happy to help.
Let me climb up the drain pipe. I'm not going to climb up there. I might break my neck. Fair enough. All right. Go to Scotland Yard, I suppose. We can give a description of the person he was with, which might be helpful. Well, well, well. If it isn't Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself. Sergeant Collins? What do you want, Wilkins?
Sir Arthur? The creator of Sherlock Holmes?
Yes, the same, officer. You want to see something, Wilkins?
What?
You will be surprised. Boy, Mallory, come over here. Yes, Sergeant. Judging by Mallory's appearance, can you tell me where he's from, Sir Arthur? Oh, dear. Well, let's see. With those typical features, I'd swear he's from the Sheffield area. However, the prominent forehead places him further south. The place where the Sheffield accent differs because of those pronounced S's. Eckington, right?
Good heavens! It's truly Sherlock Holmes. How did you know?
Easy. We usually bump into each other at the barber's. How's the family, Mallory? They're all doing well. Sam's got a little job as a porter at King's Cross, and little Ralph refuses to continue studying. Thanks for asking, Sir Arthur. Don't know why I've taken this joke every time they have a new officer. Still just as funny as the first time, don't you think? You can go, Wilkins. By the way, you're lucky the chief is in his office. He wouldn't be too pleased to see you here. Anyway, what brings you here on this miserable night? I'm looking for a missing person. Who are we talking about? Professor Nelson Ward, in his 60s, grey-haired, with a height of... Nelson Ward. Mallory? Yes? Help jog my memory, or correct me if I'm wrong. Remember the former chief forensic officer? His name was Ward, right? Ward, Nelson Ward. Yes, you're correct. He left the force to go into teaching. Good man. Bit eccentric, but very professional. Thanks, Mallory. So, our former chief forensic officer has disappeared. We were not aware of that. No one's reported his disappearance. Well, it hasn't been reported, no. But his closest associates claim there's something strange about this whole affair. Professor Ward wouldn't vanish without a trace if there wasn't a compelling reason. Oh, don't you worry. Nelson Ward was one of ours. As far as I'm concerned, he still is. Mallory! Is he calling this guy over? Yes. Issue a search warrant for Professor Nelson Ward. Mobilise a few officers to take care of it. Now? Now. High priority. All our units are busy at the moment. Jones is with Horton, Meads and Soulsby at the docks. Freed and Runkle are on the trail of Louis Adams. Curses. You may be dismissed. Very sorry, Sir Arthur, but the search for the Professor will have to wait until tomorrow. No problem, Sergeant. Although I must inform you that I am conducting my own investigation into the matter. Well, I won't be the one to stand in your way. We could use a mind like yours. But be careful, I don't want the Chief finding out, okay? Why is the Chief angry? Because of your Sherlock Holmes stories. He thinks Lestrade is becoming increasingly useless, and that reflects poorly on Scotland Yard. Well, he shouldn't be upset about that, it's pure fiction. Lestrade is not incompetent. He is just a device I use to make Holmes appear more brilliant. Well, that's not how he sees it. He thinks you do it on purpose and doesn't want you consulting the police archives again for your stories. No, I'm fed up with Sherlock Holmes. He brings me nothing but trouble. Regarding Professor Nelson Ward's disappearance, do you have any leads? I believe I've stumbled upon an important clue. Would you mind sharing it with me? Apparently Professor Ward left his home last night accompanied by someone. A beggar. A certain Rupert witnessed the event. Was it Rupert the last person who saw Professor Ward? Indeed. And could he recognise that person? He couldn't see his face, but he's certain he was missing an arm. Right or left arm? Left. And also he heard his voice. Let's say he threatened him, or rather he threatened him indirectly. Not many details, but enough for me to organise a line-up tonight. We have several registered disabled individuals of that sort. Suppose the guy who's been threatening beggars at night would be among them. Could you bring that beggar here so we can identify the guy? Indeed. Right. In the meantime, I'll have Mallory gather a few suspects who fit the description you provided. Thank you for your assistance, Sergeant. I'll do everything I can to help clear this up. As I said, Nelson Ward's still one of ours. Leave our officers alone, Sir Arthur. We've misplaced a very important report and we need to find it before dawn. Oh, the distinctive custodian helmets. It's been more than 40 years since they replaced those horrors, better suited to the army than a modern metropolitan police force. Okay, guess we go. Probably go back to Rupert. Rupert? Sir? Would you be so kind as to accompany me to the police station?
Me? Why me? I ain't done nothing.
I know, and you need not worry. You have to come with me and pick out the one-armed man from a lineup. That simple.
Pick him out? I don't want trouble, sir.
You can rest assured he will not be able to see you.
You sure about that?
I give you my word. Lineups protect the witness.
I dunno. Never been in one.
I, however, have attended a few. So trust me when I say your anonymity will be preserved.
You seem like someone who knows what he's talking about. Or hell, at least acts like he knows what he's talking about.
What do you say? It'll only take a few minutes of your time. If not for me, then do it for the professor.
Well, what the heck. I'll do it for the professor. Shall we go?
I'm fascinated by this room. It's nothing like the last one I was in for a lineup. You like it? This glass separating us from the suspects is special. As you can observe, both you and I can see clearly what's on the other side. They'll only see their own reflection. And I suppose those vents up there allow communication with the room on the other side so they can hear you. Exactly. If I raise my voice, I can give orders to the suspects. Fascinating. Costs a pretty penny to install these spaces in all police stations, but with this method, witness safety doubles. That's what matters. Did you hear that, Mr. Rupert? You've nothing to fear. You can come here without any problem.
Yeah, seems safe.
Mallory, line them up. You heard the sergeant, gentlemen. Form a line and stop in the centre of the room. Halt. Excellent. Stand proud. Not even the Royal Guard marches as well as you do. Look straight ahead and await the sergeant's instructions, please.
What kind of shit is this?
What's the matter?
You're asking me what's the matter? There's a paddy man there. First one, the bald one. Why ain't he behind bars?
We have no evidence that this gentleman has committed a crime.
He's a paddy man. He belongs to a gang of extortionists and murderers. Isn't that crime enough?
So we're here so you can identify the person you saw last night.
Poppycock! So the rumours are true. The police turn a blind eye to these Irish pigs. This institution stinks. You're a corrupt lot.
Rupert, I don't think this is the time. Sir, watch your mouth when speaking of this immaculate institution. Do you want to be detained for contempt? Is that what you want?
Ah! Let's get this over with.
Very well, gentlemen. You've been given a note with a phrase written on it. I call you by the number you've been assigned. When you hear it, read the note out loud. Do not attempt to fake your voice. Don't try to deceive us. We'll know. Got it? Let's begin. Number 1. You haven't seen... No, you're number 5. Number 1 is the person at the other end.
I've been assigned number 4, sir.
Mallory! What the hell have you done? It doesn't matter. You'll be number 1 from now on. The one to your left will be number 2 and so on. Is that clear? Let's start again. Number 1. Say your line.
You haven't said anything. Understood.
Right. Number 2.
You haven't seen anything. Understood?
Thank you. Number 3. Number 3. Are you deaf?
Sorry, Sergeant, but I cannot read.
Did you hear the phrase your colleague said?
Oui?
Just repeat it.
Ah, okay. You haven't seen anything, understood?
Very well, thank you. Number 4.
Oh, you, scumbag. Not a word about what happened here, understood?
What? You either can't read or you're making up what's on the note.
I just wanted to add more drama. Who wrote this? This line isn't believable.
Ah, do you see, Sir Arthur? We have an aspiring writer among us. Be careful, he might give you a run for your money. You just read what the note says. By all that's holy, Mallory! Where did you find this guy?
From the theatre, Sergeant. He's an actor.
Oh, we're in a lineup, not an audition. Please, just read the line as written.
You haven't seen anything, understood? Is this okay?
Yeah, that's fine, thank you very much. Number 5. You haven't seen anything, understood? Mr. Rupert, which of these people spoke to you last night?
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2? You sure?
Absolutely. Your voice is unmistakable.
Clive, really? I thought you were going to turn over a new leaf.
I don't know what this is all about, Sergeant, but I promise you I haven't done anything wrong. I'm an honest person now. I even have a decent job. I'm a coachman.
Coachman, huh? How do you drive with only one hand?
Very carefully, Sergeant.
Are you sure it's Clive?
I give you my word, sir.
All right, gentlemen, show's over. Please exit on the left. Everyone except number 2. And thank you very much for your cooperation. Come on, gentlemen. You heard the sergeant. I would like to speak to the suspect, Sergeant. Sure, go ahead. We're done here, Mr. Rupert. You can go. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Do you pay anything
What?
for doing this?
No, of course not. Is it not enough for you to contribute to justice?
No? Well, good night.
Clive, isn't it?
Have I gotten into trouble, sir?
I don't know. You should know. Can I ask you if you were on Dorset Street last night?
Indeed, I was there last night. I picked up a gentleman at number 14, a certain Ward. He said he was a professor.
You didn't know him previously?
No, sir, it was the first time I saw him.
And where did you take him?
Oh, that's the wrong voice. To the Blackstone Asylum, sir. Half an hour earlier, a gentleman gave me a note with Mr. Ward's address and the destination he'd be taken to.
Would you recognize that person?
No, sir. It was very dark and he hardly spoke to me. He just gave me the note with the exact fare.
Did you speak with Professor Ward or just drive him?
Oh yes, on the way to the carriage we had a very strange conversation. According to him, he received a letter detailing certain supernatural events that had occurred in a cell at the asylum. Apparently he was a ghost hunter, and his services were required. He was as excited as a child on Christmas Eve.
Why did you tell the beggar not to speak about anything he saw?
Oh, the note I was given indicated that under no circumstances could anyone know that the professor was heading to Blackstone.
I see. Continue.
Upon arriving at the asylum, a terrible thing happened. As soon as we got off the carriage, 2 orderlies were waiting for him, along with someone who seemed to be the director of the facility. The orderlies grabbed him by the arms and dragged him away, screaming. He was insane. I should have suspected it from all those ghost stories he told me.
Good heavens. Professor Ward is not insane. He is the foremost authority on metapsychics in all of London.
I don't know what that is. Apparently neither do the people in charge of the centre. They dragged him away.
Have you heard the account of events, Sergeant? Oh, by God, yes. We must do something about this misunderstanding. I'll wait for the boys to come and I'll accompany them to Blackstone myself. Wait. This can't be delayed. I told you before, all my officers are busy. I came myself, but the chief has just left and I can't leave the station in Mallory's hands. Let's wait a couple of hours. All right. May I go on ahead? I'll be waiting for you at the asylum gate. All right, Sir Arthur, but don't do anything on your own. Just wait there till we arrive. I appreciate all your inquiries, but the time for playing detective is over. Leave this matter to the professionals, okay? Completely agree. The Blackstone Asylum. Oh, it's him talking. I'd heard chilling tales of the inhuman treatment of patients. Trepanning, electroshock therapy, and cold water baths to alleviate their illnesses. Entering Blackstone was like stepping back in a century. A place that should no longer exist in this modern world. Closed.
Who goes there? Who are you?
What do you want?
I've come to visit a patient.
His institution doesn't allow visitors, sir. And even if it did, this wouldn't be the time for it.
Well, there seems to be a misunderstanding with one of the patients.
The asylum is closed, sir. If you have an issue, contact the administration.
But you see,
I advise you to leave. The storm is getting worse and you wouldn't want to be in such a remote place. Good night.
curse it. Okay, quickly check the time on the video. It seems like quite a good place to leave it for now. Not quite sure how long this Conan Doyle section will be going on for, but probably a little while longer, so we'll leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, if you could hit that thumbs up button, that'd be fantastic. Be sure to leave me a comment as well. Let me know what you think about the game so far, the story, the puzzles, anything you like really. It's just always good to hear your thoughts. And yeah, if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed to the channel, would be amazing if you could. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.